And don't be surprised if you behave that way, if your own kids don't treat you that way. Honor your parents, and guess what? Your kids will probably honor you in the same way. Honor also comes with honorable behavior. And speaking of honorable behavior, I failed to mention, thank you, Amy Steckler, for our special music. Okay. Honor comes with honorable behavior. In the first century, when this passage was written, families were presided over by fathers who could do whatever they pleased in their homes. Rome had a law called Patria Potestas, which meant the father's power. The father's power. Men who were Roman citizens were given absolute property rights over their families. By law, the children and the wife were regarded as the patriarch's personal chattel or possessions. And he could do with them as he pleased. A displeased father could disown his children, sell them into slavery, or even kill them if he wished. When a child was born, the baby was often placed between the father's feet. If the father picked up the baby, the child stayed in the home. If he turned and walked away, the child was either left to die or sold at auction. Honor comes with honorable behavior. Honor starts in the home. And I've been talking about parents and I've been talking about kids. Let me tell you something. There's more than parents and kids in the home. There's husbands and wives. Honor starts in the home. Obviously, compared to those times in Rome, God has a higher standard for us to live by today. Don't look at the schools to teach your kids honor. The church only sees your kids a couple hours a day on any given day during a week. Honor has to be modeled in the home. Guys, how you treat your wives is going to be the role model for how your sons treat their wives. Wives, how you treat your husband is going to be a role model for how your children treat their husbands, how your daughters treat their husbands. And how you treat other people, how you react to other people, what you say about other people is your kids and other people are taking that in because you stand there as Joe Bob Gilliwad. I just decided to come up with a name there. Mr. Joe Bob Gilliwad, who calls himself a Christian, who goes to church every Sunday, who even says prayer in church from time to time, and gives an offering, and takes communion, and seems like an upstanding person. But those people in your workplace, and those people that live with you, are all watching you to see what you call an honorable life. And if you are not living your life in an honorable way with how you conduct yourself with other people, guys with other girls, girls with other guys, your co-workers, then that's the example that they're learning, and that's a direct reflection upon God. Honor has to be modeled in the home. And parents should act honorable. Dad, mom, your children will only act as they see you behave. Husbands, you need to expect your wives. You need to honor your wives if you expect them to honor you. You know, that word has even been removed today from a lot of marital vows. Honor. That's so 19th century. Moms, you should parent with honor if you expect your kids to sing your praises. Honor leaves a legacy of honor. Children should learn how to honor in the home. There's a phrase that the Bible uses. Fathers, do not exasperate your children. Why doesn't the Bible say fathers and mothers don't exasperate your children? Because dads, you know how you can be sometimes. How you can sometimes push, maybe a little too hard, be a little bit too critical. There are some people who I've heard time and time again, they're in counseling and things of that matter, that will say, you know, there's no way I could please my dad. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't please my dad. And they were resentful, they were bitter, they were exasperated. Do you really want that to be your legacy? It's really sad when I preside over funerals. And before the funeral takes place, I'll talk to family members. And I'll say, well, tell me about your dad. Or tell me about your mom. Or whatever's the case, your brother or whatever. And they are really hard pressed to find something good to say about them. I was even at one funeral where they said, you know, that person was ornery, mean at times, hard to get along with. Okay, I'm sorry about that. What are some good things about them? Well, they were good providers. They always made sure everybody was taken care of. Well, what was the good traits? Well, I really can't think of any. And I've been to funerals that way. Is that the type of legacy you want to leave behind? Well, I'm not that way, you may say to yourself. But step back from yourself. How are you behaving toward those that you love? How are you behaving toward your friends? How are you behaving? Are you someone who's constantly criticizing others? Are you someone who's constantly acting dishonorable? Are you someone who's just terribly hard to please? Don't exasperate your children. As a matter of fact, don't exasperate anybody. You may smile at the word exasperate. However, when you continuously yell at your kids, when you berate them on a regular basis, when you don't bother to give them due consideration, when good deeds go unrewarded, or commendation is not considered, when you knock down instead of build up and treat others better than your own family, you can expect your kids to do the same, not only to their children, but to you. Honor for God should be learned in the home. Honor for God should be learned in the home. One of the reasons why I've been doing this series was that I have a real desire in my heart to see good godly men rise up in the church and be examples of good, godly men. Not only to their kids and their wives, but to their church and to their communities and those that they affect. Too often, and this isn't a criticism of any particular families, but too often I see mama dragging the family in, the kids in, without dad. But when you get a dad with a strong commitment to the church, you can usually find mom and the kids with them. And so, my commendations, my greatest exhortation to the moms that are here without the dads. But to you dads, y'all need to step up and not have to be urged to go to church, but be the first one to say, let's get in the car. To open your Bibles in your homes. To give good examples in your homes. Honor for God should be learned in the home. Can honor be for God? Can it be learned outside the home? Yes. But it should still be taught in the home.